This is the DinoPod.
Hello and welcome to another episode of DinoPod. Unlike last week, I'll actually say the name of the show instead of just saying welcome to episode, because that's what I said last week.
Is it?
Yeah, I was gonna edit and just put DinoPod in, but I'm lazy.
You should have gotten like the Google lady voice, like welcome to DinoPod episode something.
Well, it'll be like every fucking TikTok video.
I don't have TikTok, so that means nothing to me.
No, I get linked TikTok videos on WhatsApp groups where it's like, look at this thing, and it's a TikTok video where it would just be an audio. It'd just be like written text, read out by that same woman's voice. Or it'd be like a really weird Reddit thread that gets read out in that creepy voice.
Why? I don't understand TikTok.
TikTok is like the lowest bar of content. It's like, there's a thing trendy, let's join. Do you remember years ago when people did planking?
Yeah.
No one thought it was a good idea, but because everyone thought it was a dumb idea and it was popular, we all did it.
I never did it. Did you do it?
I was at school.
That is a yes.
I was at school, and there was steps, so I went up there and then I planked.
I think as I developed as a person, I skipped all of the let's do stupid stuff to the part where everyone's stupid. Why is this happening? I don't understand. So basically, I'm like a 6-year-old. Old person.
The fact you don't have multiple cats worries me.
I don't like cats that much. Right now, your cat is on top of my bag, just putting hair all over it. I don't enjoy it.
Why not? Cats are the best.
Because then I have cat hair everywhere, and I don't even have a cat.
Exactly.
Whatever, Pixie. So yeah, I don't understand half of mainstream social media thing.
That's I when I was younger, I definitely did. I was an early adopter. Like my Facebook is from like 2009, 2010. My Steam account is 16 years old. I did like Farmville when that was popular, like 15 years ago. My Battle.net Blizzard account is like 18 years old. My Steam account's like 16 years old. My Facebook is my Twitter the other day went past like 12 years. I'm always been an early adopter until TikTok turned up and I went, this is actually shit. This is genuinely like complete horse. I tried Vine and I was an early adopter to that.
I've never used Vine.
Don't you remember the meme of do it for the Vine?
No. I had Twitter, although I didn't get until I was like in 10th grade.
Twitter's a cesspool, so you've done yourself well.
I mean, even before it was like a complete, like known as a cesspool, I never really got into it. I have Instagram. I like Instagram. Mm-hmm. It's nice. Facebook, I have it. I don't use it.
I think Instagram actually is one of those social media sites that, because it's mainly to do with photos, I think it's probably the best social media platform we have at the moment.
Yeah.
Because
I never liked Snapchat.
Let's do a demo.
I never liked Musical.ly. What was the other one? There was another
MySpace,
one.
Bebo.
Yeah, I've never used MySpace.
Talk forums. Xfire.
Yeah. Was High Five a thing in the UK? High Five.
I've never heard it.
No? I might be calling it wrong. I feel like there was like something that was like popular when I was growing up before Facebook became popular. Everyone had it but me.
Oh, what was it? Tapper Talk or something? Oh, AOL something. MSN as well.
Oh, Messenger. Back when Messenger was like
every time you log in, you have that. You always had that friend who you didn't speak to very often, but every time you log in, you'd get a donk donk donk, and then it would just be them going hi. I like to Messenger. And that's it.
The old like. Was it? There was not really emojis, like those stupid like things that you'd send
the little.
people.
Do you remember whenever you'd get like a donk donk donk? It was like the hand that tapped on your screen, and it would always be that guy that no one ever chat to, and they'd always do it every time you logged in.
Yeah, I like those, but that's about it.
At the moment, the best social medias has got to be. I'd say Instagram is probably the best. I like that. Facebook is full of 50-year-old mums posting random shit about their grandkids.
Facebook is full of weird conspiracies and like racism and just weird shit.
The only thing I like
that's selling your whole data for like a shit ton of money.
That's true.
And also Mark Zuckerberg's
he's a fucking alien.
Face. I mean, that man is so weird. I don't understand how he looks like that.
The only thing that I like to do on Facebook really is Facebook Messenger has literally taken over the entire world.
Yeah.
WhatsApp and we could say, oh well, what about WhatsApp? I'm like, who's it owned by?
Right. I do use Messenger, but that's
so Messenger's good.
But I feel like I see that as like separate from Facebook.
They're the same thing.
I mean, they're technically, but you know what I mean. I mean, I don't see that when I log into Messenger. I don't think of Facebook. You can
have a Facebook and not use the Messenger. You can have to use Messenger and not use the Facebook.
Yeah.
And the only thing that I really like about Facebook is when you build a page, like for my Doctor Locations page, it's really easy to organize everything. Like I can set up a fan page and put the nice banners on there. I can make it its own dedicated page, almost like a website. It's almost like pages on there are literally webs. If you went back 15 years ago, you would have all had your own Facebook, your own website, wouldn't you? If you wanted to create something about, I don't know, your Pokemon collection, YouTube wouldn't exist. So you would have made a shitty website and you'd have uploaded all your pictures on there. But now you do the exact same thing, but you post it on fucking Facebook because it's easy and it's nice and easy to share. That's the only reason I use Facebook.
Even then, I guess I think Instagram is more utilized for that. Although you can't create albums as big as like what you do with Facebook.
That's a question. How big of an album can you make on Instagram?
You can't really make albums in Instagram. You can make a post that has like 10 different photos in it. It's not really an album. Because
I was thinking about taking all the location pictures that I do and upload it to Instagram. Would that be possible?
Yes, you would take your shitty, like, only shit. Because you have, like, thousands of photos.
Yes.
It would take you a really, really long time.
Please tell me someone's made an app or something where it just, like, uploads.
I mean, probably.
Can I employ you to do it for me?
No.
Why?
Because no.
Oh, I died. Anyway, so this week we're talking about something that we're both fairly versed in.
Sure.
Because we spent 3 years there.
I guess.
Which is?
University?
Yes.
Well, British University. UK University, because it would be a different experience, say, in the US. Or even in Portugal.
True.
Yes.
In Portugal, the experience probably is going to be better.
And probably not. We have a thing called praxe, which I think are complete bullshit and just abusive.
Go on.
Mainly it's like, it's bullying, but like they twist it as being something that actually unites the students, which again is complete bullshit.
Explain what it is. I have zero idea.
So basically, like the first years are like told by second and third years, like tasks that I have to do to be able to belong to the community of the university.
Okay, give me an example so I can understand.
I'm getting to it.
Okay, sorry.
So, and basically, there's like, almost all of them are just about humiliating the person. So, crawling on the streets and like picking up shit from the floor with your mouth.
Is that what happens, do you know in America where you have like your dorm, what they call dorms? Not houses. Sorority. And then the first ones get like, oh, you have to run down the street naked or something stupid.
Yeah.
Like what you see in
kind
movies.
Kind of like that. But I feel like somehow it's even worse. But it's just something like, just dumb. Like, and then somebody that's like in favor of, come like, well, some of them like use it to do like charity work and like put people like painting like zones of a city that have been kind of falling apart, so they go and like paint, give it a new coat of paint to make it look nice or whatever. But most of it is just about humiliating the students, which I think it's kind of gross. And there's like a myth that so when you graduate, to be able to wear the university, it's not a uniform,
gown,
yeah, kind of. So, but we have like, it's very specific to each university. You need to go through those like, we call prash, but it's bullshit, you need to. But honestly, it's kind of bad. And like a few years ago, some like kids died doing it.
So
it's like it shouldn't exist.
Tell me if I'm wrong. So if you were a second year,
yes,
and I joined the university,
yeah,
and you said something like, we've agreed that you need to, I don't know, you need to go and spray paint a penis on a wall somewhere, or you need to go to this town and I don't know, knock on 50 random strangers' house or something like that. So whatever it is, you need to do it. And then I go, fuck that, I'm not doing it. What happens?
You're basically like kind of excluded from the community in a way.
So if I don't agree,
so obviously I didn't go to university in Portugal, right? I am Portuguese, but I didn't go because I moved here for reasons. So
we'll
obviously
get into
I'm not
we'll
super
get into those reasons
in it, because like, it's not like I have one personal experience with it. Also, because I don't remember all of the rules, because there's a bunch of rules. But basically, like for example, I think if they somebody doesn't want to participate, the people that do participate, like the first years, like I don't think they can talk to that person, kind of like something like that. It's like very strange. But for example, if I was the second year and you were the first year, you wouldn't be allowed to look me in the eyes. You had to look at the floor the whole time. You had to like call me by specific names, like weird shit. It's not like, it's really, to me, every time I hear about it, it just seems like the whole thing seems to be about humiliating the freshmen, if I go with the US term. So
do you think it's to put these people in their place? Like I'm here, I've done my thing, I've been there, I've been humiliated.
It's kind of like a cult.
Yeah.
Yes.
It sounds like it.
Yes, it's kind of like a cult.
It's like, you must follow our rules and regulations.
Yes.
To be a part of that's fucked up.
It's
but so saying stupid. That in the UK, it happens in the UK, but it only, by the sounds of it, tell me if I'm wrong, it happens at most, I'm not going to say all, because there might be some that don't, most universities in Portugal. Is that correct?
Yes, it's a big tradition in the universities there.
In the UK, Boris Johnson got pulled up on it a few years ago. Those type of traditions only tend to happen in the most elite schools in the UK. So,
like, for example, like, okay, our first year, there's like the freshers fair, like all the clubs for you to join and shit like that.
Mm-hmm.
From what I understand, if it was in Portugal, like some like people be like shouting at you and like you just see a group of people just crawling on the floor because some older years told them to and they had to do it.
This sounds like a dodgy, bad relationship.
It's weird. Like, it's weird and abusive. I don't understand it. Even before, like, I went to university and, like... So, this whole story about the people that basically, they went at night and the whole thing was that they drank a lot and they had to lay down at the beach at night with their backs towards the sea. And something happened, like a huge wave or whatever, and all of them, there were 6 people, all of them drowned except the senior person.
What was it, kind of more luck than judgment is the reason he survived, do you think?
Probably. I don't remember everything now. It was just a huge thing at the time. And I think I was in my last year of school before I came to uni.
Is that what put you off going to uni in Portugal?
No, not really.
Go on. What was the main reason that you decided to come to the UK to do studies?
Anytime that I search like courses and like TV or like film and stuff, like basically none.
So was there none in Portugal?
There were like some, but like all of them didn't appeal to me. I don't know,
What put you off?
I don't know. I mean, when I decided to come to uni to the UK, I wasn't even sure I wanted to go to uni at all.
What was the reason that you decided to do it?
So basically the way I did it was that there's like this group, not company, but basically they help students like with their application process to UK.
So it's like an administrative thing.
Kind of, yeah. So they went to the school where we had like a bunch of like universities like presenting their course, and then went to the school. It's like, you could have a chance to like study in the UK, and I found it interesting. And I read a bunch about it, and then I went to a meeting where we talked a bit more about it, and I thought it sounded fun, so I decided to come to UK. And also again, like, there wasn't like any... Every time I looked at the course, like, and they wouldn't... I don't know, it just didn't appeal to me going to Portugal. I don't know anymore.
Do you think that...
I mean, I wouldn't be in debt if I did go to Portugal, because fees aren't as high as here. Unless I went to a private university.
Yeah, I'm going to get to that a little bit later. So do you think that you... in terms of what you studied, do you think that you've got was one of the reasons that you think you got more opportunities coming to the UK in terms of jobs? And do you think it's more in relation to jobs?
It was like a combination. I think I mean, I would think like one of the reasons was because in my head there would be more opportunities coming here. Although there's yet to be seen. But different thing.
Don't worry, also, we'll get into that. We'll get into that a little bit later.
One of the things that I could I don't know, but one of the things was that here they kind of like, even if you don't come to visit university, you can like look up and see all of like the facilities that they have.
Mm-hmm.
And one of the things was like access to like a TV studio where you could be doing stuff yourself, and like cameras. And like whenever I looked into the course in Portugal, like none of them ever mentioned that. So like I thought that like, wait, that's way better to actually get hands-on experience. So it seemed more like practical, where in Portugal, when I looked into it, and maybe I was looking in the wrong places, who knows, it looked more like theory rather than practice.
So do you think that comes more from the fact that in terms of historical TV production, the UK has been one of the... because of how we've had the BBC for nearly 100 years, because of a great deal of focus around the world has been British cinema, British films.
Yeah.
it allows this to be one of the epicenters of TV production and TV and film production, which leads into a lot of investment from companies who will want universities to focus more on TV production, whereas in Portugal there is less emphasis on that. Do you think?
I mean, yeah, obviously, like UK TV has more, I would say, like prestige maybe in terms of like the whole culture around it. I mean, we don't have like Pinewood Studios.
You don't have things like
S03.
fucking Harry Potter, which is like the biggest thing since sliced bread.
It doesn't. It's different. Like there's different emphasis into it, but yeah. Also, I don't know. I lived in the middle of nowhere.
Do you think that had an effect on where you studied? Because if I try and put in context, so obviously I chose to stay at home and travel to uni, so it was roughly about an hour or so of travel per day, which
about 2 hours, 1 hour each way.
Yeah, sorry, 2 hours like in total per day I was at uni, which was my own choice. Do you think that the places that you wanted to study, were they in the main cities for one, and two, do you think the travel time put you off from going to those, and three, would you have stayed there if you would have gone to uni, and fourth, how was the financing in Portugal?
So I mean, if I had gone to university in Portugal, probably, if I remember correctly, the ones I remember like either in Lisbon or Porto, both of them.
So both of them at least an hour away from where you are.
Well, Lisbon is an hour away. Porto is 3 hours away.
Yeah.
So it would be like they're both main cities. So it'd be in the main city.
Yeah.
So I don't think that would like influence a lot. I don't know. I didn't.
So if you'd have chose to go to the main city, so let's say it's an hour away.
Lisbon, sure.
Yeah. Do you think you would have chose not to? Do you think one of the things reason why you didn't go, because going there was quite far away, and you wouldn't have gained any of the benefits of living the university quote unquote experience?
I don't know,
because
I never thought of it that way.
And would you and do you think you would have gone to stay there? Like if you'd have chosen to go to university in Portugal, because you would have had to travel at least an hour, would you have decided to stay on campus?
Well, we don't really have like. I don't know that. But it's more common for like the people that I have, so for like friends and family that have gone to uni. Basically, it's more common for like you stay at a place near uni. It does like not necessarily on campus, but I think that could be like university dorms or a private place, which are very popular in Portugal, and it's very like under the table kind of dealing, so they don't pay like any taxes, not official.
Really?
It's very
Go
like
on, Nicole, I
it's
didn't
like
know
a
this.
strange situation. So basically, there's like a lot of, because I don't think there's like a lot of uni like housing in Portugal type of stuff like here.
So like in the UK, for example, if you went to study in Cambridge, you could literally go onto any website, any rental website, but there'd be a drop down menu that says student, and you can just sort by what you want. That's not how it works in Portugal.
So like most of it I think is like private. So like so when I moved, I didn't go to like uni like the way Toby did, like the uni. What's it called? Fritz place. Fitzroy.
Yeah, so it wasn't. It's not like, let's say for example, if you went to study at, Cambridge Uni, you would go and live at Cambridge Uni.
Yeah.
And obviously in Cambridge, the reason I'm doing Cambridge because it's more well known and more people understand it. So if you went to Cambridge University, you would stay at Cambridge dorms, but because of the uni so big, they obviously may have a lot of student accommodation around there, and it's so popular. So when you go there and rent places, they know what you're going there for. You're going there for between September to May, June, July. So they know between that to that. But it sounds like in Portugal, that's not how it works.
Yeah, it's basically like it's less student accommodation. It's more like private renting to students, but it's not everything's. So they don't pay any taxes on it. So like you can't. It's very under the table, like hush hush kind of thing. It's I don't know how to explain it.
So the way you're explaining it is like, if you went to study, I'm gonna say I don't think I don't believe this is happening everywhere. I think that please tell me if I'm wrong, but it sounds of it, that's kind of, it happens a lot, but not how it should work.
Yeah, I mean, so basically here, if you were to rent out a place, you'd have to like pay tax on the place, on the money that you're gaining from rent, right?
So it depends on the. I don't know. It depends on the contract and so on. I know students' contracts are different. So I think this is why in the UK a lot of the time you have student-specific rental places, because so you might have a whole complex that's private, so it's not part of the uni, but it's all for uni students, because they'll have agreements to where this place gets rented out from beginning of term to end of term.
Yeah.
And they will have connections with our student finance England. So in England, the way it works is you'll have your uni is pretty much standard across the board. So the way it worked was, way it brought in was, it was going to be the cap for the amount of money you can spend per year for an undergraduate degree outside of London. I think London's different, but don't quote me on this. I think it might not even be I think it might be across the board in England, is £9,250 a year. That's how much it is now. But when they brought it in, they was going to have a cap to basically stop people from charging 50 grand for a year at uni and then just putting it onto the government. So they put a cap. So what happened was, all the universities decided, this isn't a cap. It's like when you sell a product. This is the RRP. This is the recommended retail price. Everyone's going to charge £9,250 a year. So the government went, oh shit. Because in the UK, the way it works is, you pay. So if you decide to go to university,
yeah,
the government loans you that money to go to uni, but it doesn't go directly to you. It goes straight from, if I go to uni, it goes, I sign up with Student Finance England.
Yeah.
And when I sign up to the university, when I get there, they'll take the money directly from Student Finance straight to the university. So I don't get a penny of the money for my course fees. And the way that it gets paid back is, unlike America, where you have to get private funding to basically pay. So you get the money, then you give it to the uni, and you always have to pay it back, no matter what. In the UK, do it a bit differently. The government pay the university, and then we only pay it back after you start making a certain amount of money, it's so people don't feel penalised for going to university and coming out of it and being on a low wage to start off with. It's to stop people from coming out of uni and going, oh shit, I've got to pay 30 grand back. Oh fuck. And then being slapped with a monthly cost every single month if they can't afford it. When you start making money, I think it's 25,000.
I think so.
You get charged something like £30 a month. And you start paying that back to Student Finance England every single month.
Yeah,
and
it
goes
depends on how much you
and it goes up in bands, in thresholds. So the more money you earn, the more money you have to pay back per month. It makes complete sense. And the good thing about this is it opens up university to a lot more people. And most people don't ever pay all this back. 30 grand is not going to get paid back because I think it's after 30 years or so it gets written off. So after 30 years, whatever you have left just gets a blank, just gets a tick through it and done. You're good to go. So most people never pay it all back. So for us, it's good because we never feel that effect. How does it work in Portugal?
So I would say I think it's like probably more similar to America, except we don't have like outrageous fees, so it's a bit more doable. But
what are the fees in Portugal?
Well, it depends whether it's a public or private university.
Is there a difference?
Yeah, so we have private universities which are more expensive, but easier to get in because they have lower
requirements.
Yes.
Whereas in the UK, you can have private universities in the UK. I think the way it works, don't quote me, I don't know, I haven't looked all into it. I think the way it works is a university is partly funded by the government.
Yeah.
And then obviously students decide to go there. So Student Finance England, basically the government, then pays for their course. And then the university can also do private funding and stuff like that. So the university might get money from the government. They might get money from the local council. They'll get money from, I don't know, let's say Pinewood wants to partner up with universities. So they might get money or they might get other benefits. And then we decide to go there. So they get the money from us. So it's all a part of a whole system to fund. So it's kind of part private, part public. So it kind of works that way. But the way you're saying it is you've got public ones, which is that purely funded by people and the government? Do you know?
I think so. I think so. It's like public ones. I think they get government funding. I could be wrong. I mean, I haven't.
Obviously, you didn't go, did you?
I didn't go to Portuguese University, so I haven't looked into years. But I think so. But their fees are a lot lower, and then you have private universities, which I think are. I don't know if they get any government funding. I have no idea.
So how much?
Their fees are more expensive.
So how much do you think it will cost someone to go to a public university? Do you know? Really roughly, is it kind of how much, like 9,000?
It's not 9,000. Not even close.
So you might like £1,000.
Maybe something like that.
Basically,
I'm pretty sure. We could look it up.
No research.
Yes, research. Now I'm curious.
I'm really curious as well.
It depends on the course.
Okay.
So there are cheaper courses. It depends on which course you're taking. It depends on which university, whether it's private, whether it's public. So yeah, there's quite a different things that go into it.
But
nothing happened.
So in terms of funding in Portugal, are you more likely to get it from banks or governments to go there?
So
Mum and dad?
Like, it is mom and dad, basically. But you could technically get a loan from the bank to go to uni, but
the chance of you getting as a 17 or 18 or a 19-year-old to get a couple of grand loan is a
parents taking out a loan for you, I would guess.
So they'll be your guarantor essentially, or they would literally just take the money out and just say, "Here you go, Rita, enjoy, go to uni."
The bill, yeah,
don't stay away from those beaches.
So basically, in Portugal, like, your parents would be, I would say, well, for what I know, your parents would be the one paying you.
Yeah.
Paying for you to go to university. Because, like, I don't know, like, okay, so I know of someone who they couldn't afford to go to university, so the way they went about it was they joined the, not the army, it has another name.
Civil service?
No, it was academy, military? Academia Militar. It's kind of, your hope. Are you going to open the door for your other cat?
I was going to open the door for the other cat, but I think she just wandered off.
So it's not really the army, it's like, it's similar, but it's not the army.
Mm.
But basically, they were taking an engineer course, and they could go join that. And while it would take longer, but while they were doing that, basically they would get the course paid by the. It's not army. Let's call it army, but it's not the army.
So
something else.
That does actually happen that happens in the UK as well.
Yeah.
So backstory. I was at the Clarkson farm.
Oh God.
This is completely relevant. So
sure it is.
So I was at the Clarkson farm, which is Diddley Squat Farm. So when I was there was a 2-hour queue to get in because Clarkson. So there's a 2-hour queue to get in, and when I was queued up, I got chatting to a family, and in this family there was a guy there who he's doing engineering, and he's also in the RAF or something. So he was telling me how whilst he is a part of, his fees are being paid for directly from the RAF. I think it's the RAF or the army, or one of, I know it was kind of a military scheme.
Yeah, it was a military.
So he studies there, gets paid to stay there to study, and then comes out and gets a job at that place. So it's kind of I know some banks and some businesses do this where if you're exceptional, they will bring you in, pay for you to study, and then you join their company afterwards. Is that the type of thing that they do?
I think this is exclusive to the military thing that she did.
Yeah.
But basically, she was in the, like, she's actually, I think she's a sergeant. Mm-hmm. She ended up being staying in the army, so she's a sergeant, and she does stuff that I do not understand.
Sergeant-y stuff. She does army military things.
But basically, yeah. So she joined. I think so. Then the army would pay for the university fees, so she would be studying in the military exercises and shit. And she finished that, and then she was also able to do her master's in engineering. Maybe civil engineering, I'm not sure, but something like that.
But did she get paid from the military to do it? Not paid her to do it, but they would pay her fees.
They paid all of her fees. That's why she chose that option. But because the thing, apart from the student finance, you also get student loans, which give you money for the rent of.
Yes. So to explain for people who aren't UK based or didn't go to uni. In England, as a part of Student Finance England, so the government obviously pay the university the money for your course, which is £9,250 a year.
Which is too much.
Which is insane. obviously, the way they get the way they get away with doing this is because as anyone that goes to university in the UK say, well, you're never going to pay it back, are you? I'm like, yeah, you're never going to pay it back because it's too much money to pay back. Whereas,
if it was lower, maybe people would actually.
Let's say if it was $2,000 a year, some of us might just say, fuck it, I'm just going debt free. I'm just going to work a couple of years and write it off and be done with it. But if it's 30 grand, that's like half a deposit of a house. You're like, 30 quid a month sounds good to me. Anyway, so student finance obviously is paying for your university course. And a secondary payment you get from Student Finance England is what they call a maintenance loan. I don't know why they call it maintenance loan, because it's not maintaining fucking anything, because depending on who... So the way it works is, when you apply to university, if you need a maintenance loan, so some people decide not to. So, for example, if you're staying at home at your parents' place and you might work a part-time job, you might decide, you know what, I can afford to buy my books, I can afford to go to parties and stuff, I can afford to buy stationery, I can afford to buy my laptop if I need to, I can afford to live without getting any other money from anyone else. So those people might decide, you know what, I'm going to decide not to get this maintenance loan. People who do decide to get a maintenance loan, they do this because they use it for paying to basically live either on campus, privately, or wherever. It's usually to pay rent and pay for food and pay for essentials, pay for those books and so on. And obviously everyone's circumstances is completely different, whether or not you are fucking multi-millionaire wanting to use student finance, if your parents are millionaires, or if your parents are broke, or in private rented or in social housing or whatnot. What they do to keep it from giving everyone tens of thousands and giving them next to nothing, because if you're a millionaire, the likelihood of you not being able to, if your parents are a millionaire, the likelihood of you not being able to afford rent each month is very low. Whereas if your parents are on minimum wage, are on, using food banks or whatnot, basically can't afford to pay rent, what they do is that they find out how much your parents are earning. So you give them how much, you tell them how much your parents are earning, and then they do an evaluation based on how much your parents are earning and how much savings you've got, and they bring up a sum of how much maintenance they think you're entitled to. So the less you earn, less your parents are earning, especially if they're a single parent household, the more money you'll get to go to university for rental purposes. So it sounds like a fairly fair system. If you look at the two extremes, it looks like a very fair system. So the people who are millionaires, you can afford a couple of, £500 a month for your kids to stay at a dorm room or whatever it is, I don't know. And if you've got no money, you'll get a lot more so you can stay. It makes sense. One of the problems I noticed was a lot of the families, so people who are on somewhere in the middle, who what we call middle class, might have their parents earning a lot of money, but they might have in a lot of expenditure for where they live. So, for example, like Toby, he lived in a nice area and his parents earn a lot of money, but they don't have tons of expenditure, like free income to pay him to go to uni. That's kind of the only issue I have with it. So some families might look like they're on a lot of money, but because of whatever reason they don't have a lot of free income to just simply give to their children to go to uni. That's the only thing that I know. She just chlorine. That's the only thing that I noticed, that there is a potential issue with this, but it's probably the best system we've got. So you've applied to go to university. You've got you got this maintenance loan, and so that means you can simply that's my cat. Bixie, stop it. Yeah, so you get this money from the government, and in that money you can use on rent. Even if you decide to stay at home, you can still apply for the maintenance loan. So up to you. And what they do is they go, okay, let's say 30 grand to go to uni for student fees only. They might give you $5 grand per year, each year as a maintenance. So you're looking around about 45 grand to pay back. They're not going to charge you any more for taking those maintenance fees. So what they do is they go, if you decide to get maintenance grant, they're only going to still charge you £30 a month to pay back. Yes, there's more interest on it because you do have a slight interest onto the money you get out, but it's very minimal. So I think it's a very, very fair system. So that's how it works in the UK. So that means it's really good because it allows so many more people to go to university, to get their degrees and stuff. But obviously it depends on, some people argue that it devalues the credit of the degree you get, because so many more people get.
Ridiculous.
So that's an argument. That I'm not saying I agree or disagree, but that's an argument. So say because so many more people can do it, it's not worth as much. Okay, whatever.
I think what devalues it is that none of the money that's given to the universities seems to be put back into the education.
Yeah, that's true.
That's what devalues it. Not that a lot of people are being able to go choose to go to pursue further education.
The tricky thing is when you have all this money going into university, then you have so many people go to university, you get paid all this money, yet it doesn't seem that. Okay, let's go for it. I don't think £9,250 a year is value for money in comparison to what you get. What do you think?
I mean, it's...
Or do you think because we don't feel like we're paying it back, we don't really worry about it?
I mean, it's still like... I don't know, it's obviously it's tough to tell, but I do feel like at some points, like during the 3 years, there was times like I'm not really paying, but technically I'm paying 9,000 something a year, and there's no money in to do any shows or like to be able to get a budget to do a show. We need to like scrap and practically beg to get anything so we can actually produce something of value.
Let's give context. So we both studied TV production in the same year.
Yes.
In the same class.
Yes.
During the same period.
True.
So we're looking at it from a TV productions perspective. So, what?
No, that's it.
So, in terms of what we did at university, I don't know. I think it was always going to be tricky with what we get value-wise out of TV production. Because some of the really important things that you get out of doing university is experiences.
Yeah.
So one of the really big things that I got out of university is going to places like EastEnders. But I don't feel like, because of the restrictive nature of the industry, I don't think we got a lot of those experiences. So we didn't get a lot of offers to go to places like EastEnders, places like BBC, places like Channel 4 and things like that. So if you were studying kind of a history degree, if you were studying a humanities, or if you're studying science, I think university for those type of things, you gain a lot more out of it because you're not relying on things like external experiences. Do you see what I mean?
Yeah.
Because one of the biggest industry things I liked was going to university, is going to TV studios, going behind the scenes. I also noticed this when I was applying because I was going to apply for a game design course. The first thing they said is you're not getting a game studio, because when I applied and started chatting with some of the students, because I was going to go to a university in Cambridge, I think I got accepted. I'm not sure. I can't remember. But I applied for, it was one of the most prestigious ones they have. And I got chatting to some of the students who were, I think, second or third year. Their work was very, very good. And this was in Cambridge, and the game RuneScape is made in Cambridge. And then I said I play World of Warcraft, and I got chatting with them, and they said, yeah, no, because of non-disclosure agreements and because of privacy and whatever else, we can't even get there. Like, we can't go to any game studio. We can't. Even the one that the RuneScape, which is they're partnered with, won't let them in because of privacy. I was like, and I think in terms of TV production, I think that's a lot of it. I don't know. I don't know. Why did we? I don't know. It's very tricky.
I mean, particularly in third year, when we had to divide the budget between TV drama and what was the other one? What was the other course? It was when we did gamer tag.
Yeah, so
that seemed so fucking ridiculous.
So in terms of our experience, we noticed that we were paying all this money in, and because if we were doing a sciences or a humanities, if we were doing a humanities or a history exam or a history degree, the most amount of money we would need is to get some books out, for example. Whereas when you're doing TV production stuff, you need money to pay actors.
Yeah.
To maybe rent out more equipment, to pay for food, pay for travel, pay for so many different things that I don't think we got. And when we did, we had to basically beg them to say, you do know we're probably going to fail if you don't actually help us, and give us a couple of £100 to a whole class of 20 people.
Yeah, I mean, it was I don't know, it was a bit ridiculous. Because we did get some of the equipment updated at one point, our soundboard got replaced by a newer one, which was really nice. But there were other times where we couldn't get proper guests for a show because we couldn't really pay travel for them or even get them snacks while they were there. Yeah. Because there was no budget whatsoever, which feels ridiculous.
And even to such an extent where we were basically hiring the daughter of the tutor to come in to do it.
Yeah, talk about nepotism.
I know. It's
that was they were so annoying about it too. About wanting to squeeze every penny out of it. Yeah,
well, I it's always tricky when it comes to this type of stuff though, because yes, I do agree. Yes, we could have done extra fundraising and stuff for ourselves and so on, but it's.
I mean.
But when you study something,
the amount of time that we had
yeah, it was not very. It wasn't possible.
In like 3 months, I would be fundraising and produce and.
I think when you have when you go, I think this is one of the experiences I think a lot of people should be told before they go to uni is you need to really do a lot of thinking before you go to uni, because you need to figure out what you want to get out of it. I think when I've seen a lot of people I know when I was... the way that I signed up was when I was at college. So in the UK, you go... After secondary school, you go into sixth form, which is basically secondary school, but like higher. You do a bit more. Or you go to college. Then you go into university. So when I was at college... This was in my I did a 2-year course. So you can do multiple years. You can do a foundation, which is level 1. Then you can do another one, which is level 2. Each 1 year each. And then you go up to the next one up, which is level 3, which is a 2-year course. So I went straight into do level 3 because it was computer stuff. I had the grades and everything to support it. So when I went there, on the final year, they I don't want to say coerced, but they kind of coerced everyone into applying for uni, signing up and applying for universities, even though they had no desire to go. And what I found was, when these people were signed up to university under the guise of it gives you more options. Okay. But what I noticed was a lot of these people end up going that I knew, and they told me specifically, they were not going there. They were going there because they hadn't planned anything else. So it was, okay, I'll get 30 grand of debt. I'm just going there for the lols and to party. And I remember there was a kid who, he went to my secondary school, and he went to the same college, but he did a different course. When I chatted to him, before he applied, he went, "Oh yeah, it'd be a great laugh as long as I brush through. I'll go to the parties and I'll get the uni experience." He kept banging on about uni experience. I'm gonna go. He said, "I'm going down to Brighton or somewhere. I'm gonna get uni experience. It's gonna be great fun. It's gonna be really good." I was like, okay. So I saw him a year later. He was obviously back from uni for summer break. And I asked him, "Oh, did you go to uni?" He's like, yeah, I love it. I was like, "What's your grades?" "Oh, it's like, it was really tough this year. I scraped. I managed to get past. It was like I got 2-2, whatever. I don't really care. I brushed past. It was great. It was fine." He's like, "I had to retake a few things, but whatever." I was like, "So what are you getting out of it?" He's like, "It's fun, innit?" But like, so I thought for a second. I was like, "So why did you, what? So you're going there for the part?" And he said, "Yeah, I'm going there for the lols, mate." I was like, "How many more of you are there?" It's like, "Oh, there's a group of like 10 of us. We're all there for the bants." So you're saying the government has spent £300,000 for you lot for a year to have the lols? And he's like, "I never thought about that way." I was like, "Yeah." He's like, "So it's not my money, is it?" I was like, "What the fuck are you getting out of uni then?"
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. It's obviously I feel like I got a lot out of uni, even just like the experience, like handling cameras and going out on our own and doing whatever.
Do you think you got less technical development and more kind of, I hate to say this word because it sounds so pretentious, like spiritual development and emotional development?
I don't know. I got
I feel one with the universe. I feel so much more developed.
I mean, I feel like I got a lot of practical development because I was constantly in the studio.
No, it's because you did everything.
And I like tried to like learn a bit of everything, do a lot.
And according to the tutors, you did nothing.
I mean, they did so much that they didn't know what I did. The one thing that like really got me questioning was like on the last year for like gamer tag, the tutor was like completely.
Explain what that was. What was that?
Gamer tag was like the show we had to do. Was it live? A TV live? I can't remember when it course like the not course, damn it, not lecture.
Unit.
The name of the unit. But basically you had to create like a live show. Like the few years before us, we did the dance show.
So yes,
and
so
I was
essentially
around
the brief was we
had to create a show from like start to finish, like pre-production, production line, and then ready to go live at a certain point.
Think of the most traditional way of looking at it is like something like the One Show or what's an American type version? It's like what are they called? Magazine shows are they called?
Talk shows?
Not talk, but essentially there you have like you've got a set, you've got a presenter, you've got guests, you've got
late show. The late shows,
like a late show, yes.
I guess, yeah, kind of.
Where what you'll do is you'll have the presenter come in, do their interview, start the show. They might go to an interview. They might go to a video that was made previously, and it was all a part of this kind of. I think he kept saying it was a magazine show. I think that's
maybe.
So in previous years, it was always a dance show.
No, the 2 previous years was dance show. I don't know if before that. Also dance show. I don't know.
I think
our first year, I helped the third years, and some of us helped the third years. That was a dance show, and then the year afterward was also a dance show.
I think if I recall correctly, when we were walking through, do you remember when where the if you go through the main entrance, and then you'd have the bar.
You mean Costa?
No. You go up the steps, and then you'd have the nightclub thing, and then
yeah, Metro.
And then you go one flight up, and then you take the walkway to the right, which would go towards kind of where the TV studios and stuff is. I remembered on the walls there they had picture from previous years. I think it was 2008, 2009. From third year, which had the exact same lighting setup and everything that the dance show had. So I reckon it had gone on for years. It was kind of like, what do we do this year? They probably all thought about like us, going, we should do something fun and exciting. And you can just do a dance show.
I don't know. I don't know. I think I remember like.
I'm not saying
that like they would.
I'm not saying there wasn't anything different. I think they were just kind of like.
I don't know.
If you run out of ideas, or if your ideas are dumb, like making a show about games, you could go and do dance. It'd be great.
I don't know. The problem that I have with that unit is like they were paying somebody who had no interest in being there. They were paying a lecturer that had no interest in being there.
Yeah. So expand on that. What? In terms of industry leading like lecturers, do you think this is kind of like a problem across the board? Do you think it's hard to recruit good lecturers?
I mean, I don't know. I think we had quite a few good lecturers.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not going to say names because
we won't name names.
But I think, and like we had that lecturer also. We also had him like second year, and I think he was quite okay there. I don't know what happened, but like from like into third year, I don't know if he lost interest in that uni particularly because he also taught in some other uni or whatever. But he wasn't like a lecturer. Even if we're in third year, he was supposed to be there to like instruct us, and like kind of steer us in the right way, in the right path.
I think the way
he wasn't there to do anything other than
do you remember him saying, "I'm not here to lecture you. I'm just here to help you." because it's your third year. You should know what to do.
If
Then we
that
all
was
said,
actually true, sure, but he didn't help us at all. He was there just to bitch and moan.
yes, because I remember him saying, you guys should know all this by now.
Sure.
I will be here to give advice when you need it, but you guys should know how to do it. Which you could look in two perspectives. You can either go, we are 1 year away from being industry leading professionals, so we should know exactly what we need to do, and anything we need help with is there. Yeah. Or you can look at it as you've got a lazy tutor who doesn't want to do much and is just palming it off to their kids.
I mean, in a way, but the thing, if he said that, and then as we were like doing the show, like he had actually like helped, and like not telling us what to do, but like taking what we were trying to do and our ideas and like help them shape them into something that was actually good, rather than just
lecturing about lecturing,
like just shit on it and like I don't understand it, so I'm not going to help, which is basically what he did. Like he did nothing.
The issue was
nothing other than being there.
Well, the issue was it wasn't necessarily that. I don't think you need to be an expert on the. If you're doing TV production, I don't think you need to be an expert on the topic you're covering on the show.
Yeah.
So if your show is about, I don't know, let's say you're doing a show about flowers, like a flower show. Like, do you know the flower show they do on the BBC every year?
No.
Okay. So they do, I think it's called the Chelsea Flower Show. So it's this massive thing every year. I don't think the people behind the cameras are going to be expert on flora and different petals and things. I don't think they're not interested. What they're professionals in the sense that you can employ them. They will turn up. The director maybe has to know what they are, what they're covering.
Yeah.
But they can turn up and they can do what they are paid to do, and that's it. The issue we had, and I think this happens, I do actually think this happens across the board. You've got a lecturer who, in the creative industry, I think you have a lecturer that was there because you need one, for starters. But you had a lecturer there that was not interested in the subject and subsequently not interested in making that subject into a show because they didn't understand what needed to be done. Whereas they should have looked at it as simply, this is like any other show technically.
Yeah.
I'm going to help them because regardless of whatever topics we covered, it was a 2+1 interview. The techniques you have on a 2+1 interview between talking about flowers to talking about games to talking about, the latest plug sockets, whatever, some random thing. An interview is an interview.
Yeah.
Yes. And obviously during an interview, when you're recording it, it is different. Like, if you're the vision mixer cutting a show about games, it's useful for you to understand what they're talking about, or at least the director, so they can tell the vision mixer what to do. It's helpful if they know the subject, so they know when to cut. So if they're talking about a game, and that the other person is going to interject to talk about something about it, it's at least useful to know a little bit about the subject so you can preempt the cuts between them.
Yeah.
It's not necessary. It just helps.
No, I mean...
But he just kind of went, don't know, do it yourself, I'll be here, take some photos.
I mean, if he... Like, it would have been more useful not to have him there. Because all he did was, like, disrupt concentration of what we're doing.
That is definitely not a good idea. That's not a good principle to work on as a lecturer, that your students believe that you're being a hindrance to their education. You should, when you go to uni, you should say, if my lecturer wasn't there, I would learn a lot less.
Yeah.
It's the lecturer was there and they provided me with all the information I needed. They were there for support and they brought in something.
Yeah. I mean, that's when I like that one.
That's
was
when you fucking
definitely-
tapped out. That's when you were like, oh fuck it, I'm doing this.
No, that one was like definitely like, yeah, this is not worth whatever I'm paying in quotes, but
because the way you got to think about it is, let's say you take what you did on that day and you went and rented out a studio for a day, 2 days, 3 days. It might cost you a couple of grand, maybe $1,000, $2,000, depending on the studio. That type of studio might have been $2,000 or $3,000 for a few days. If you expand that out to say you've got 80, let's say 20 people paying £9,000, £9,250, let's say £9 grand. You've got a room with people paying almost £180,000 to be there, and then you think to yourself, is what's happening at that time worth £180,000? It's not. And when you expand it even further and go, yes, the tutor's getting paid a lot, but for what they're getting paid and how much. So how much is going in? 180,000. Let's say it's £300 a day for that tutor to be there. £400 a day for that tutor to be there. Where's all this other money used for? Because clearly it's not for the rental of the studio.
I mean, obviously it does take money to like maintain a studio and to pay the people that maintain it. So
saying about maintenance, the engineers we had at our uni were so good. Okay.
Yes.
I think even with Karen, she admitted that the engineering team, even at her uni, top notch. Because they actually want to be there because they enjoy being there.
I mean, I feel like I learned a lot from the engineer that helped us the most. But
what did you get out of uni?
I feel like I did get I don't think, because up until that point I really hadn't had the opportunity to mess around with cameras and lighting and everything, so I enjoyed the practical side of it a lot. What's happening? I don't know
cold,
what you're doing.
I have to close the door when it gets cold.
So I enjoyed the practical side of it a lot, and I think I don't think we can put aside the fact that I did enjoy the people that I hang out with that I met because of uni. I don't think I can separate that from the uni, what I got out of uni in terms of money to cash to experience.
Yeah. So do you think when you extrapolate it outwards, the part of the whole experience, you think it's like anything in life, it's the stuff that you can't put the price tag on. It's like the people you meet, the people you spend the time with, isn't...
I think the question is would I do it again?
And would you do it again?
Yes, and the answer is definitely yes.
Why didn't you go do a master's then?
I mean, why?
Because if you think you gained...
Because I think I gained a lot from bachelor degree doesn't mean I want to continue.
Why not?
I don't know, it's just I can't... I think a master's would be more of the theory side, I feel like. And I did not want that. Well, I enjoyed the 3 years of uni, and I would do it again if I started over.
Mm-hmm.
I was done with it by the time I finished. I was done with the whole studying part of my life. Studying, I mean, you continue to learn shit, but...
So what did you... So when you left uni...
Yes.
What happened? I want to preface this by not having this conversation divulge into COVID lockdowns and stuff, because obviously that's a big factor in what affected both of us. Because I just want to preface this by saying we finished studying in 2019.
Yes. We had 6 months before.
We had half a year between finishing studying and the lockdowns in the UK happening. I know it's very difficult to not bring this in because it is a factor for what we went through as a because university is not just the 3 years you study there, it's what you get out of it to move on in life.
Yeah.
So how did your post-uni experience go for the short time that it was normal?
I mean,
what?
It was okay, I guess. I did get like a runner thing for like a couple of months for like a YouTube channel empire thing. That was fun.
So what did you find in terms of when you were after your studies? Did you think that you've got all of the experience from everything that you experienced and everything that you went through? Do you think that you got the tools to move on in your career? And do you think you ever got the support that you think you should have got?
I think I definitely got the tools for like an entry job. I think I would do like, especially for like a camera trainee type of thing, I definitely think I would do great there with the skills I got from uni, but that hasn't happened. So, whatever. In terms of sport, I don't know. I mean, I don't know. Maybe we could have gotten more support in terms of like connections. That didn't happen, so I don't know.
So do you think when I've been looking at the statistics, when you see those massive banners on university websites, it's like 95% of people get jobs in your industry in the next 1 year.
Those are probably very out of context and very specific.
Exactly. So do you think when you look at those, when you think about the people who study in uni, when they leave uni, how do you think that they do you think that this is kind of just a TV production issue? Or do you think that unis across the board, because so many people go there and come out of uni with an expectation of being able to get a job?
I mean, I don't know. I haven't really looked into it. I mean, there's always been the thing of like, there's now more like engineers and engineering opportunities, stuff like that. Like you've heard about it. Like there's too many people for like trying to get this specific job, or just like IT.
Well, it's not necessarily IT. It's more like in our industry. So there are
TV
a lot
is
of
very competitive and also very like connection based. So
I think this happens.
There's a lot of nepotism in TV. Like that's not.
I think if you expand it into a broader perspective, when I applied for the games production role, we got told specifically that this is a very difficult industry to get into. And TV, we were told this was a very, very difficult thing to get into. So I think what ends up happening is lots of people apply for things like what we studied. And it's known as a DOS course because you know you're not going to get much out of it. And it's a way for you to mess around for a few years, like my friend earlier that I said about, where you could just go into, mess around for a few years, get the uni experience, and just about pass.
Yeah.
And I think, do you think that's the case for a lot of courses now? Like you go online and look at a university course now, and it's like a 3 years with gap, like a 3 year, with 3 year degree, no 4 year degree with a gap year in, you know, soil fertility and diversity development in biology. You know those ones where they've got, you don't know yourself, is there even a job in that? You go, there must be someone who's a lecturer in that, who's teaching it, who must have a job, but you can't see a direct path out of it, if you know what I mean. Like a very, very specific job that you go to uni for, where you can't...
I think you have more luck getting into those than, like, say something like an English literature degree.
Potentially, yeah. I've never thought about that. You might be right.
Because it's so very specific that probably not a lot of people will want to get into it.
Or it might be on the flip side.
It's like all of the actors that like go into university, like you look at the degrees like English literature or something else that like it's very
psychology vague. Or something along that
lines.
Like
history, like with no specific point in time, so it's very vague.
So you I think that might be right. So you might have a very specific course for a very specific job with very specific people, which makes it easier to get into, arguably. Or you might have a very specific job with a very specific course with hundreds of people applying for it because it's a DOS course. And I think a part of uni, one of the big problems we have, especially in the UK, is that there's like 50,000 unique college university courses. Is there 50,000 unique jobs currently going?
I don't know. I mean, I don't know. It's
tricky, isn't it?
Yeah.
I thought about this because when I was applying for unis, when I was looking through the courses and stuff, I saw the most random courses ever, and I just didn't have. Granted, I didn't think about it too much, but I don't think there clearly isn't that high a demand on these super niche courses. But I don't know.
Maybe there is.
You might be right. I think you might be right.
There's also there's certain amount of years where a course is very popular. I think criminology has been very popular recently because of the true crime shit.
Oh yeah, that's true.
I think TV production, film production, has been in the recent years more popular because YouTube and everyone wants to be amateur filmmaker and indie filmmaker and YouTuber and.
Do you remember the course? I remember
that.
A course I've been seeing a lot more recently. It's social media influencer course.
I mean, I'm sure it exists.
And another one was esports management course or something like that for 3 years. I was like, that's a very unique course. Probably a lot of people are applying for it.
I mean, it's management, the esports management. It's just a management course, but it has esport in it, so it's probably popular.
You mean management by a bunch of nerds?
Managers. Just become a manager. I don't know. I mean, I don't know. I mean, technically, you could get a degree in anything, not use it for
anything.
For anything.
Hi, Rita.
Hello. That's me.
That's you.
I have a degree, and I use it to do retail.
Yes.
I'm very good at it.
I hate saying this, but I think because our uni year has been, I don't think we've been dealt the worst hand, but I don't think we've been dealt a very good hand. So if we finished graduation in 2018, we'd have a year and a half of time to apply before COVID.
Also, at 2018, we would have a different lecturer who apparently managed to get a few opportunities for certain students in a way that we didn't get.
Yeah.
And the year that we graduated, so I don't know. I mean,
so I think I'm one of the people who I think it was more out of luck who who manage to get a job in the TV world. I think it's more luck, because talking with them now, they were kind of desperate. Good for me, especially as a pandemic hit, because I'm like, oh fucking hell, I'm a key worker now, so I'm back in the office. But I don't think that many people. I don't think there's anyone who. So how many? So it's me, 1, 2, 3 of us out of our group that went into the industry. 3 or 4?
Maybe, I don't know.
3 or 4, which I don't think is a very I don't think that's an acceptable pass rate. I don't think if you got 20 students that go into a uni course and only a handful of them go into that industry,
only 25% success.
Yeah, I don't think.
Know. I mean, yeah, I don't know.
I don't think that's value for money. Unless they go on to do making more money doing something else, and that degree helps. That's fine.
Yeah.
Because
it's tough.
It's tough. I do not envy the people that currently are studying. Because I've seen Karen doing it through Zoom.
Mm-hmm.
What a fucking palaver. It looks horrendous. You cannot do you can't do any course. I honestly don't believe you can do any course better through Zoom.
No, I wouldn't say
especially creative.
Better. No, I think that it needs to be like at some point hands-on. It's like you're going to lose something. Anything that's like 99% based theory, I think you could do it.
But it's not better. It's definitely not better.
It's not better.
Even having conversations in real life is so much better than on Zoom.
Oh yes.
So.
Now I smell something burning.
Oh no, it's because I put the this is the second time I put the heating on this year.
Okay.
Yeah, because I'm not down here very often for this period of time, so I don't put the heating on very often. I put it on a couple of weeks ago. Do you remember that? I think was it about 3-4 weeks ago now, where it got really, really cold that one evening. Mm-hmm. Like it was warm, it was summer, and one evening it just got freezing cold. The next day, I
Speaking of cold, the other day we had a discussion at work about when winter starts.
Mm-hmm.
When does winter start, Mitchell?
Officially or kind of like socially?
The season. When's winter? The season.
So officially, like on the calendar.
Yes.
Okay. I would guess somewhere in October.
Nah.
You're gonna say something like it doesn't start until like December.
The season winter starts on the 21st of December until 21st of March.
So we're currently in autumn.
We're currently in autumn. So we were talking.
Sorry if you live in Australia. This means nothing to you.
Well, not Australia, just the southern hemisphere. We live in the northern hemisphere.
It's cold.
So we're talking like, yeah, it's cold. Like this winter is terrible, and I mentioned, well, technically we're not in winter yet. And they're like, they looked at me. They're both British. They look at me like, what do you mean we're in winter? I'm like, no, we're not. So we had a whole discussion about whether it's winter or not. And
well, I mean, if you're in America or if you're in a warmer country,
wait for it. And then one of them goes like, "What's Christmas? We have Christmas. So it's winter." I'm like, "No. What about people that have Christmas in southern hemisphere, like Australia? It's summer there." I'm like, and she's like, "No, it's Christmas, so it's winter." And the other guy like, "No, it's summer there." So we had a whole discussion about. So and I was like joking, or like, I don't know what you British schools teach you, but it's not winter yet. And then I work with another Portuguese girl, and like I go like, when does winter start? She's like, am I winter already? I'm like, you're a disgrace to our country. So I don't.
That's why I said officially or technically in the UK. Do you know when winter starts? Okay. So in the UK,
in the northern hemisphere, it doesn't matter where you are. Depending on the what's it called?
The seasonality of your
depending on the what's it called? I can't remember.
Climate.
No, solstice. Depending on the solstice, it's either 20th or 21st of December. Every year, winter starts in the northern hemisphere and ends in March. And then in March, spring begins.
And socially.
Not socially.
And socially,
it is.
And socially in the UK, the way
seasons are not social.
I agree with you. In socially, it's winter in the UK when
it's cold, but it's not winter.
That's the thing. No one knows when anything actually happens. It's kind of like.
Although the season's not
okay, in the UK, so it goes like this. Spring is when you take your jumper off. Summer is when you put your bikini on. Autumn is when you put your jumper back on. And winter is when you put your thermals on. That's how it works in the UK. I'm sorry.
No, that's
how it works.
It's not true.
So the moment that you go, I need to get my big coat out. Winter. No. I think it's a bit warm. I need to just keep my jumper on. Spring. It's really warm. I just need my t-shirt on. Summer. And then rinse repeat.
That's just not true, because as soon as there's a tiny bit of sun, hot, 30 degrees, I don't know why British men just whip out their shirts and go shirtless. I'm calm down. It's 31 degrees. Chill. Not even that.
I'm dying.
Immediately, everyone's shirtless.
Not even 30 degrees. As soon as it gets to 13 degrees. Men are currently out there. They've got a beer in one hand. They've got the t-shirt in the other. They've got flip-flops on and army trousers on. And they've got a tattoo on there that says Arsenal Football Club or Dave was here.
It's
I love the British public. We are the best.
We had 2 days of hot weather this year in July, and immediately even then it's I'm not sure if it hit 30 degrees for those 2 whole days.
You might be in 23 degrees.
Yes, immediately, men just walking around shirtless. What are you doing? You're not even sweating or anything. It's not that hot. Put on a shirt.
The funniest ones is when bald head, massive beer belly. They got tattoos everywhere. They got shirt off. They've got 3/4 length army shorts. They got flip flops on. They're pissed out of the head, and it's Thursday at 1 o'clock in the afternoon, and they're all and even funnier is when there's a group of them and they're sat outside a local Tesco's or not even Tesco, local off license. They're all sat there. Hey!
I'm calm down.
And then none of them are wearing sun cream, and so about a few days later it goes. Oh, it's so fucking hot, mate. I'm burnt all over. Linda, get the after sun, mate. Oh, and then summer's over. The summer's over. And then they go, I'm never doing this again, mate. Dave, I'm burnt all over. I look like a lobster, mate. Next year.
I don't understand. Shit. It's 25 degrees. You can barely, if you move at a rapid pace, you might start sweating a little bit. But rapid pace, pacing, almost running. You got a little bit.
In the UK, the moment it gets past 15,
just men just whipping their shirts out in the medium. No one wants to see that.
The funny thing is,
it's not that hot. Calm down.
The funny thing is when it gets to around about 20 degrees, every man has got every man over the age of 40 has got their shirt off. And and the moment it gets to about 25 degrees, they're literally drowning in their own sweat. And you keep hearing, every time you walk in, it's the British people, 2 things. It's too hot, it's too fucking cold. It's quite a nice day, isn't it, Rita? It's always, I'm fucking dying, mate. Give me a beer. Or it's, mate, I need a coffee, it's so fucking hot.
Also, it's just strange, because if we were, okay, so I think it's, yeah, men walking around with shirt off. I think it's more extent a holiday town, a beach town. It's hot. It's summer. It's you're near the beach. I'm yeah. You go your shorts, you're wearing just your shorts, like women like just wear bikini tops, and like everyone's like, it's a very like holiday vibe.
But not
here
not
we're
when
like
it's...
in the middle of it, like just a normal like town center where there's no sea in sight, no beach in sight, and like shirt off.
So it's like it's you know, it's 25 degrees. Every man has got their shirt off. It's, you know, you're on fucking, I don't know, you're in Bradford town centre, or you're in bloody, I don't know, Peterborough town centre, and if you see anyone wearing anything else other than flip-flops, they're doing it wrong. And every person has got a beer can in one hand and a blue bag in the other, blue plastic bag in the other, with 3 others there, and they're going to drop at least one of them, and then they're going to go everywhere. British people are the funniest people in the world.
It's just
we really
so
are
ridiculous.
We are we are the funniest people in the world.
So
unintentionally.
ridiculous.
We have no intention of being funny.
Oh yeah, my
we
phone
just
must
are.
be charging.
Pardon?
My phone is probably done charging for quite a while now. I don't know if that's going to work, Mitchell.
I don't know either. We're really professionals about this. But,
We're super duper professional.
But it's true. It's the British people are probably the funniest people in the universe. They have absolutely zero. We're really uptight until the moment that there is a little bit of sunshine out, and we're done. Beer gardens out, beer in hand,
But like,
t-shirt off.
I mean, beer gardens like
Sweet Caroline, and then it gets to about 5 degrees. Oh, it's so fucking cold, mate. I fucking hate it.
No,
I need to go back to
so
Benidorm.
Weird. It's like, because then like in 23 degrees, like if you're in Portugal, that's cold weather still. So like you'd have then this like some men are like shirtless, topless, walking around with beer in hands, and then next to them is like somebody who's like a jacket on still, and like quite cuddled up.
There's always two. There's always there's always another set of people. These are the people we call the mentals. So they're the people when it's summer. They're wearing a big jacket, shoes on, jeans or trousers, and they're walking around like it's winter. And then there's other mentals where it's minus 15 outside. They walk around with a pair of Converse on, trousers and a shirt, and they're like, "It's all fucking cold, mate. I can deal with this." And you go,
people that we get in the shop right now, like in flip flops. Like, one, who are you? Who wears flip flops outside of like sand areas? 2, it's November and like it's like 5 degrees out. Why are you wearing flip flops?
Oh, I saw the funny. So, North London, think of this, North London, 7 o'clock, no, 6:30 in the morning. It's freezing cold outside. I saw a guy walking around, flip-flops with no... Even if you wear one of those sandals where you can put socks on and wear...
Which, by the way, don't. I mean, that's disgusting.
That is just fashion suicide.
Like, with sandals, honestly.
But yeah, I saw this guy, flip-flops, no socks on, a pair of trousers, a pair of shorts, t-shirt, pair of gloves on.
Sounds about right. I mean...
I'm like...
Why?
What are you trying to prove? And it wasn't even like the... Do you know those disposable gloves that everyone wore at the height of pandemic because they thought touching something's going to kill you?
Also, those were kind of actually more gross than just not wearing gloves in the...
Yeah, because everyone's like, right, if I wear these, I'll protect myself. So I'm going to touch everything, and then I'm going to touch everything here, and then I'll put it in the bin. Like, okay, if COVID spread the way they thought about it, do you know what's going to happen? They're going to spread it everywhere.
No, like...
Whereas you can just go into a shop, sanitize, go.
Like, do like your shopping, sanitize again, sanitize halfway through. I mean, it's just the gloves thing is like people. I don't understand. They don't understand the purpose of gloves.
They really don't.
Because like doctors wear gloves, but like they touch one patient and throw away those gloves, and then put another ones on to go do something else, and then throw those away, and then put even some new ones a bit afterwards. Like,
they go even further in hospitals. You go in, from what I've seen, you go if you're doing a procedure or you're doing something, they go ahead. They put the what they call scrubs on. So the big blue plastic thing. They put that on. They wash your hands all the way up. You can't wear a wristwatch because you have you're not allowed to wear wristwatches.
No, you can't.
Which is why a lot of the nurses have the little even some doctors, well, a lot of them have their little pocket. The watch near the breast area.
It's like a pocket watch, kind of.
Yeah. So wash all the hands, put the gloves on. They put a KN95 mask on because it's like the best one. You can get better ones, but they're the ones they use. And then as soon as they're done with the patient, everything gets put away. The whole thing, they clean themselves all over, and then they leave. You're not proving anything if you're wearing one pair of gloves and one mask.
Like the whole day.
If you're wearing the same mask, same disposable mask, the same disposable gloves for 3 weeks, you're not doing anything.
People like with those gloves.
It's
like,
gross.
Like the gloves look so disgusting. Like, what are you doing?
It's the same gloves. Have you ever been to a petrol station and seen those gloves that get given away?
Yes. Like,
I remember that at the height of the pandemic, people were literally going there to nick gloves. So people were going there with these massive gloves on, and then people were wearing like, they were grabbing like paper towels and like putting over their mouths and like sellotaping it. Did you see the picture of the guy with the office water cooler on his head?
Yeah.
This guy in America had petrol station gloves on.
Some people got very creative with their masks.
Who got a water cooler that you get in offices, cut the bottom out, put us over his head, and walked around. So his face was like this, walking around.
Some people got very creative.
Or do you see there was another one in America again, where this woman was, do you know if you're making an outfit, like a massive flamboyant outfit, you wear this thing that has this like, you put over your shoulders and it goes down to about your waist and it has a big circle, and then you can put like where at circuses and stuff you can wear.
Yeah.
So this woman had that on, and then she taped on it, "Keep your distance." And she was literally walking around with this thing on to keep people away. She had a face mask on, gloves on, and she had the fucking scrubs on as well. And she was pushing a shopping trolley like this because it was far away. She was literally pushing the shopping trolley like this.
People are the best.
I was like, what the fuck is going on?
I love people like that.
Those type of people are the reason why I live day to day. They're the people who give me hope.
I mean, at the beginning, was like there was like some weird shit people did. I mean, I don't know.
I think because I got my job, I was, like I say, I got really lucky. I got the job at the beginning just before the pandemic hit. I just saw benefits to COVID, and that sounds really bad because I was waking up and I was driving to work and I had no one on the road. I went into shops and there was the only time at that time. Do you remember at the very, very beginning, everyone panicked about shops and no one wanted to go over near a shop for like a couple of weeks because everyone's like, I'm going to get COVID, I'm going to stay at home. So for the first couple
unless it was like, and then people went crazy and like decided to go buy all of toilet roll.
And everyone went to shops, had nothing else to do, and queued outside for like 3 hours to get into Asda.
I was annoyed when I had to queue outside to go grab some food.
Yeah, me too.
And like saw people like just buy like 20 kilos, not 10 kilos. There's like bags of 10 kilos of rice, just like filling like a trolley full of those. I'm like, are you going to feed the whole town? What's happening here?
The funniest one was, this was in North London, so this was early in the morning before I started work. Got let in, and this was the time when we had the great antibacterial wipe shortage.
Mm-hmm.
So this shop assistant brought in in a box these antibacterial wipes. Bearing in mind this is a huge Asda. Stood in the middle between the aisles. So the big walkway in the middle between two lots of aisles. Stood there, open up the box, and literally lobbing antibacterial wipes, and everyone's catching, fighting over them.
Oh,
and then Tesco's in the bloody in near me, or no, it might be near you, one of the two. Same thing. Came up there with Andrex toilet roll, and it was like a zombie apocalypse. It was like you had a dead carcass there, and it had people like crowd like, "You got any toilet roll?" And then just kind of. I was like, I will never ever spend £4 for a load of toilet roll, but I felt happy. And at the very beginning, because it was me and my brother, in my laundry room, we literally made a massive pile of stuff that we stocked up on. We went in there and they were just picking up whatever we could. Literally, like, we were going in there like stir fry mix. I'll have 6 of those.
I didn't stock up anything.
Look, you have basmati rice. I'll have 10 of those. They're good. Nah. And then you're going in there and go, dishwasher salt. I'll have 6 of those. And it was toilet roll. Yeah, I know this is like 12 quid, but I'll have 3 of those. And then I remember I sent you the picture. I made a mountain of bog roll. Yeah. So in my bathroom upstairs, I have a little shelf, and I just took them all out of the packet, and I just made a mountain of bog roll. No, and that was the height of my pandemic.
I never played into the madness of stocking.
Oh, it was fun. It was really fun. It was stupid and ridiculous, but fun.
It was crazy. I mean, yeah, I mean the amount of people just buying so much stupid shit just because. I mean, this was in the second lockdown, but we had where I worked, people waiting an hour and a half for toilet roll because we.
Imagine sitting there in an hour and a half to get toilet roll. God,
because we ordered so much toilet roll because it kept filling up. Mm-hmm. We had a second delivery coming in just for the toilet roll, and that came in later. So we opened at 7 and didn't arrive till 7:30. People came in at 7, and we had a photo of people just around the area where the toilet roll would be waiting there for over an hour for the toilet roll to come in so they could grab some.
It's ridiculous. Okay, I'm just going to show you. I'm just showing you some pictures. So that was one trip. That was on the 2nd or the 4th, and then where was it? It was 6th of the 4th.
Jesus. We
brought shit tons more again, and then. That was even more that I brought, and then I went outside and I was loving it because I got some cheap toilet roll. I took a picture and I sent it to my brother, and I was giddy and I was like, "Fucking hell, this is amazing!" And then this was there you go. That was a queue for it, and this was during the time where it was like, if you don't stand 2 meters apart from me, I'm going to murder you. Just stay the fuck away.
Oh, I would glare at people that stood too close to me, get away.
And then it was, where is it? It was, that was another one. That was the same trip. That was in London, of the bog roll that was getting chucked around, and I was so happy that I managed to get some. That was a queue before it even opened. And this was... Oh, there you go. Look, everyone queuing up, ready to go. And I literally just kept buying the most random fucking shit I really could buy. This was the queue to get in.
Yeah. I had to queue quite a few times.
And we just kept making... Every single time we'd go into the shops... buying everything, just fucking. Look, I was like, I'm just gonna go buy myself a load of hanging baskets. Why? Because they're in stock. We went
but you
mental.
Never know when you needed
some hanging baskets. You never know.
Yeah, but no, people went crazy.
It was. I think in hindsight, I think we all kind of enjoyed it. Let's be honest, the madness of it was fun.
Talking about it later, and but like going in, I like to go to Sainsbury's with everyone. It's too expensive for me. I'm like, it's more or less the same price everywhere else, I find. But never mind. Like the pasta aisle and like rice aisle was empty. Like the roll was empty. Anything that was like canned, empty. There was like nothing of anything. It was like, why are you doing this?
That was the beginning of my Mountain O bog roll. It went all the way up to the ceiling.
Yeah, no, I mean, it's like, it was fucking crazy.
So about pasta, I stocked up and it was about, when was this? We got locked down on the 23rd of March. That was the 18th. And I'd already started about 2 weeks beforehand.
Like my mom ended up like sending me pasta from like Portugal and like some Portuguese tuna.
I had to find, because there was no masks, I found one out of my garage that used to work on my car, and it was smell of paint fumes, but I was petrified, so I went out of that. And every time I take it off, because you couldn't get them anywhere, I'd just have blue paint around my face, and what I'd do is I'd put it on, go into my work, do my hand, and change over shifts, clean everything, take the mask off, then go wash my face on this paint. I hate saying this, but I loved it. It was ridiculous.
It was a bit crazy. It was a bit crazy. I mean, it was very quiet as well, which I liked.
Yeah, this is the thing, because just after uni, I got that job, and driving, because I was getting on going on the underground into work, having no one on the underground was beautiful. And when I got in the car, driving into London and not having to worry about traffic, because going straight down on the motorway and getting through everywhere was quiet. But the thing is, you knew where a shopping centre, like a supermarket, was, because there'll be people queuing, so you just have to dodge it. And it remembered me of do you remember a couple of weeks ago, about a month ago now, and we had the petrol shortage? Mm-hmm. I loved it.
Yeah.
Just being have you got petrol? Did you get petrol this week? Where did you get petrol?
Yeah,
is there in stock? How much is it? Can I get it?
I mean, those people go crazy.
I loved it. My local Sainsbury's had it in stock, had no queues, and I think I got them. I think where is it? Come on. Yeah, so I remembered I sent to one of my friends, I sent a picture of an empty petrol station, a picture of that. I said, in and out in 5 minutes. They said, woohoo. And I sent it to a few other people, and I literally heard them said, I'm coming, grab the keys, and they literally just went round there. And these are the people who do like no miles on their cars, filling up to the full, and being like, thank you, Mitchell, you've saved me a load of time, thank you, Mitchell, cheers. And I got loads of messages. I was like, oh. And I remember that same time, so this was when it was when this happened. So I got home from work, I got in, had my food ready to go, had my dinner with me, got in my car, got a coffee, and I said to Karen, I'm going to be a while, so I've got my podcast ready, I've got my dinner on my passenger seat, I've got my coffee ready to go, so because I know I'm going to be waiting for at least half an hour, 45 minutes, an hour. So I'm just going to, I'll see you later. I went into the petrol station, saw no queue. I was kind of sad because I was excited to sit there in a traffic jam and have my dinner.
Yeah.
But I was in and out in 5 minutes. And I genuinely screamed and went, yes, fucking petrol. I drove back and then I was like, hey, Karen. She's like, did they not have any in stock? I was like, in and out 5 minutes. She went, no way. 5 minutes. I was like, yeah. we were both excited about getting petrol. I think we've all gone a bit mental.
I mean, I think we are all a bit
Like,
mental.
I was like, you've got a PlayStation in stock? Coming over now, buying it. Do you need it? No.
Well, that's essential.
You've got petrol in stock? Where are you? An hour away. Come in. I've got 15 jerry cans.
I mean, in Portugal we have people that go to Spain to get petrol because like 5 cents cheaper. But when you factor in the actual mileage of going to Spain,
it's not worth it.
Is it cheaper? Like, yes. Yes, it is.
Yes, it is. Please tell me you have some good lockdown stories.
I don't know, other than like people being crazy and queuing up for an hour and a half for toilet roll. Or, I don't know, like people, like there's like queues going all the way around the store, and I'm like, so we've run out of change. Can you please just pay with a card? I'm like, why would you run out of change? What do you mean you ran out of change? I'm paying with card. Well, I don't have change to give you, so you're gonna have to go to one of the other tills. I'm like, are you telling me I have to go back on the queue? I've spent all of half an hour on the queue, and now you're telling me to go back on the queue. Well, I didn't say that. You can just jump to a different till because I can't give you change. Like, there's a bullshit. I'm like, okay, whatever. Can somebody else come over?
We all went mental.
I mean, we had like pallets of stock just sitting in the back room because we all spent all of the time in the tills. So there's like no one to do stock, so the shelves were empty.
So the shelves were empty because there's no one to put it on the shelf.
Exactly, like because everybody was on tills. So like anytime people asked for something like that, we're sold out. Oh well, come back some other day.
Oh your word! And
that was the second lockdown because I wasn't there in the first one.
Oh,
and people, people still went crazy.
I reckon what we're going to have to do. I reckon we're going to have to do a separate podcast on COVID, but not talking about vaccines or anything. Just the madness of it. The madness of it. It's fun. It's fun to talk about people being mental.
Is it?
Come on, you know it is.
I mean,
it is actually funny. Thinking about it now, being like...
People getting very upset because there's no trolley. I'm like, yeah, everyone's using it. This is bullshit. I'm like, I don't care.
Or when... Or seeing like... I remember I recorded one of the coolest videos I've ever recorded was... I was coming home from work one day and I got onto the train and I had no one on the train. This was at like peak times. No one on the train and me recording on my phone from one side of the train all the way to the other side of this huge like full 12 carriage train. And then I did a recording of King's Cross station. Didn't see a single person. This was like near peak time. I was like, it feels like I'm in 28 days later.
Yeah.
And some of... I saw there was news articles where they're starting to put videos and photo albums of like kind of into museums of this period in time, and it was such a unique period of time for just mental.
Yeah.
We both kind of enjoyed it. Let's be honest. Just the fact that everything was going fine in the world, and then it just went mental. Literally, just like within 2 weeks, you went from people who were like, "Oh, this will be fine, 3 weeks, it'll be fine," to "I'm going to kill you if you don't give me that fucking pasta, you moron. Give me some bacterial fucking wipes, mate." I loved it.
Like, why are you staying so close to me? Like, what is this? Like, people just glaring, like, looking at... I would look at people like, why are you so close? I'm like, do a step away. I'm like, thank you.
Oh, I think I have an inclination to anarchy. I kind of like things being a bit mental.
I guess.
Like, if there was a protest, I'd join it. Even if I don't care about the thing, I just want to join it. It'd be fun.
I mean, it was crazy. It was good fun.
See, I told you it was good fun.
Yeah.
And now we're going to get loads of comments like, you literally want people to die. I'm like,
That's
no.
exactly what we said.
It's like, no.
That is exactly what we said.
All
just
we're
now.
saying is we enjoyed the madness of it all. I'm not saying it wasn't...
I enjoyed being at home, getting paid, and doing nothing for the 3 months that I was
That sounds like
employed.
heaven to you.
I mean, isn't that the best? Like, you getting paid, but you're doing nothing at all.
I was going to fucking work. I was a key worker.
Well, yeah, I was also a key worker after a while, halfway through, after I got that job. But
I was working...
You're a key worker, but you're a key worker that didn't have to deal with the public.
That's a beautiful thing. I was still going into... I hate doing any work from home. I love the fact that I was able to drive into London with no one else there, in an office with no one else, with biscuits and bog roll.
Yeah.
And bacterial wipes and hand sanitizer actually there, and I could sit there, have the entire office to myself, take my shoes off and just do my work. It was fantastic. And it was during the summer, so I was, because I was a key worker, I was still allowed to go out and do my shops and stuff, and whenever I wanted, whenever someone wanted to stop me, I had a piece of paper given to me via my work that basically detailed the fact that I was a key worker. So I think twice I've got stopped. Just showed them that. Couldn't care less. So as far as I was concerned, during during lockdowns, they have not affected me in any way, shape or form, other than the fact that Wetherspoons was closed, and which was kind of the biggest tragedy in my life.
I mean, not really. I didn't miss Wetherspoons.
I did.
Because Spoon's not... I mean, the food's not that good. I miss hanging out with people.
I miss hanging out with you. I'm going to be honest.
I didn't miss Spoons itself.
Yes, I think you're right. I think even when... Actually, yeah, I don't think I missed anything during lockdown.
I miss going to the cinema, but that's about it.
Yeah, but there's no fucking films coming out.
Man, like in August when they opened for like a month, they released some of the older ones, which I enjoyed going to the cinema. Period. So like, I watched the Lord of the Rings. I watched the Lord of the Rings trilogy. I watched Rocky.
You what? Adrian.
I watched Akira. There were quite a few. I think they should release more older movies more times, in my opinion. But
when I went to Southampton, there was
one
one movie that
Tenet.
I bloody watched, and I can't remember what it was.
I did release Tenet, which honestly could care less about the characters. Like, it's shot beautifully, but honestly, who the fuck cares about these people?
I think that might have saved cinema. You know,
Tenet.
Yeah.
Nah. It did way less money than they were expecting.
James Bond, I think, saved cinema.
No,
because there wasn't any. How many massive movies have come out since the pandemic? Like at cinema.
Black Widow made a lot of money when it came out, although it was hurt by the whole thing. And then Shang-Chi made a lot of money.
Fast and Furious 9 made
but a shit ton of money. I don't understand why people enjoy that film. It's Fast and Furious.
It was mainly to do with... Oi! Stop it!
But that Fast and Furious made more money than James Bond and Black Widow and Shang-Chi.
Well, it made...
They made a lot of money.
Well, Fast 9 made... This is why you shouldn't record with a cat nearby.
Yeah.
But she's giving us good vibes. But Fast 9 gained most money in China, though.
Yeah, China does love Fast 9. But, I don't know. I wouldn't say James Bond saved cinema. I think...
Definitely helped it in a big way.
The big movies, like them not like pushing back everything 15 times. Like, the studios stopped pushing... films back saved cinema in the way, but I mean, obviously they didn't make as much money as it would have in the normal year. So are you saying that? Trying to bring it back a little bit on topic. Are we trying to? I'm trying to now. If you say so. So are you saying that our post
university experience has just been a jumbled mess of mentalness.
Sure.
I like that. So, what do you think? How do you think it's gonna? How can I phrase this? Those people who have been started uni, who are now doing essentially 3 years of Zoom lectures, how are they gonna fare?
They're going back to universities. I mean, hopefully they'll fare well. Better than us.
Did you see the there's a BBC Panorama about I think it was young people in lockdown or young people in the pandemic or I think it was something like that, where there was a showing about how lockdowns happened in university dorms.
No.
So they literally properly enforced it. So there was none of this meeting up with your mates thing. There was people patrolling to make sure that you weren't actually mixing with people. And
that sounds fun.
There was this young girl that was there who moved there on her own, and she was going to go there to get the uni experience and so on. And she kind of drove herself mental because she couldn't meet up with anyone. It was during the pandemic, so she couldn't see anyone. She couldn't move back because the uni wouldn't let her. And so they were saying the mental health was just dropped through the floor. There was people having tripling staff on mental health support and stuff because people are I came here to be with people. I see 4 walls and a Zoom lecture. Help.
Sounds great to me.
It sounds honestly rough. And a lot of them were going through foreign students who couldn't actually fly back. I was fucking hell. So yeah, what do you think is going to happen with a lot of those people who do Zoom lectures?
I don't know.
We don't really care, do we?
I mean, not really, to be honest. I mean, it's about you just adapt to it. We're a very adaptable species.
As far as we're concerned, they can fail.
I mean, honestly, I could care less about the new students. I hope they do well. Other than that,
you don't care if they do well or not, do you?
I mean, I hope I don't wish them bad, but I also could care less if their lessons are on Zoom or not.
That's true. So, where's she going?
Well,
Pixie?
she
hello. We've been recording this entire podcast with a cat.
I'm tired. We should.
Yeah, we think we should end this soon.
It's been 2 hours.
Otherwise, we'll end up having another. I think it'd be a good thing to do is have a conversation about the mentalness of lockdown, even if it's just a half an hour podcast, just because it was fun.
I mean, we'd be rehashing stuff.
Yeah, that's true. Okay,
today.
I think you're right.
I'm always right.
You're not always right.
Yes, I am. I have it tattooed on my back. I'm always right. Like a stamp tramp.
No. If you had it on your back, it means you're always... No, you'd have to have it on your right side.
Well, I could have it on my right side, but on my back. Maybe it's on my shoulder. On my right
You didn't
shoulder.
think that through, did you?
I did.
Go on.
This completely makes sense.
Explain.
Explain what? That I have tattoo on my
Explain
right...
why you have a tramp stamp.
on my right side saying I'm always right. Why not? I was living the uni experience.
That's not the uni experience. That's the going to Magaluf with the lads experience.
Isn't it getting drunk and doing stupid shit the uni experience? Boom, stram time. At least not a butterfly. Or is it?
You don't get drunk.
Maybe it's a butterfly that is holding a flag saying I'm always right.
To be fair, in this last year, you're more likely to get a butterfly holding a flag of the word Pfizer #vaccine.
Hashtag Pfizer team.
Did you see that woman? She went in to get her vaccine dressed up as a needle.
I mean,
and then she
for her.
got herself tattooed on her arm where she got jabbed. That said, was the logo, the Pfizer logo, and when she got it done, and she then done songs on TikTok about it.
I mean,
I was like, I appreciate your dedication.
Enthusiastic about stuff. I mean,
do you see the?
Is it any difference than having an Arsenal tattoo? She's Team Pfizer. Maybe somebody else is Team Moderna. I'm Team Moderna. Moderna for the win.
Anyway,
we're doing very well in the championship, so.
Well, saying that, it was quite. I appreciate her dedication.
There's your tattoo of the vaccine, saying "not here, not today, Sidon, not today."
No, it would just be
no entry sign.
It would just be Pepper the Frog there instead.
Ugh.
What? Okay. What is the whole problem with the Pepe the Frog thing? I don't understand.
It was adopted by far right.
Okay, maybe I won't have one because I'm not far right. I'll just have it on my back instead as a tramp stamp.
Tramp stamp.
I'm trying to think. What the fuck is that? Why is it called a tramp stamp?
Because it's usually on your lower back and it's kind of trashy.
So it's the type of people who go and get a tattoo on their ankle or their foot or the lower part of their back from a tattoos catalogue.
Kind of.
And it's always like a butterfly, and it's like...
It's a butterfly, yeah.
It's like, I like to spread my wings and fly. Or it's just like a small little butterfly on their foot. Oh, I think my cousin's got one.
Usually under the foot ones are like stars.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We just alienate. No one's got to this point, so it's fine. So we can just...
I mean, if you have not given up, what is wrong with you?
Okay.
Go see a therapist.
If you've got up to this point, I understand. I understand.
They forgot that this was playing.
When you're on YouTube, right? When you're listening to something, when you're trying to fall asleep, you should just stop before you fall asleep. Otherwise, we will be in your dreams or nightmares.
I don't want to be in anyone's dream. And with that, we should probably end it.
That's deep. Reed, why do you feel like this?
I don't know. Anyway, next week we're doing something else.
Yes.
Tune in for that, I guess. Maybe. I don't know. You decide.
We're doing a whole episode on the history and the origins and the future of the Pepper the Frog meme.
No.
With COVID conspiracy thrown in.
No.
And Alex Jones.
No.
Can we do a whole episode? The turn of the frog's gay.
Let's not.
He's he's so mental. I love it. It's so ridiculous.
Let's not. Are you dying?
COVID conspiracy. They're all coming to get you.
That's okay. And Mitchell has lost his mind completely. So we're going to end it here. Goodbye. Say goodbye, Mitchell.
Goodbye.